Hey guys, it's your girl Keri, and as you can see I have a totally different setup here for today, and that's because I just finished taping a video for my Tommy's online channel. And basically I told you guys that I'm going to start uploading videos over on my Tommy's online channel. And for those of you who are new to my channel and don't know what the heck I'm talking about, several years ago I made a video called the at-home period kit, and it went viral, and so many young ladies have asked me to create and make more period related videos. And in that time frame, I've made a couple of videos, but I also launched my own period panty company. And I used the data that I collected from all of these, videos that I made to come up with the perfect period panty solution for women. And Tommy's stands for time of the month plus panties. So that's how you get Tommy's. And it's a leak-proof period panty with a pocket on the front. So as you can see right here, it's a leak-proof period panty. It has a pocket on the front. This little doodad here is a disposable heating pad, and that's to help with soothing cramps. Both my girls, growing up when they got their cycles, they had very bad cramps that caused them to miss a couple of days of school each month. So I needed to create a heating pad that would help them and hold up all day while in school. So as you can see, these couple of packets in here, these are the heating pads that come with the Tommy's panty kit. And you just open that packet up, you shake it up, it activates the heat, and you just stick it down in the pocket, and it provides 8 hours of continuous heat. And also for this pocket, a lot of my young girls were worried about how to sneak a pad to the bathroom in school. So you can also store all of your extra pads for the day in that pocket, and you don't have to worry about anyone knowing about it. So that's the history and the story of Tommy's. And so now I have a YouTube channel called Tommy's Online, where I'm going to redirect all of my period and personal hygiene and girly things to that channel. And so the video that I uploaded to that channel today was how to ask your mom about periods, or how to tell your mom that you're on your period, because I got so many questions, so many comments from young ladies that were afraid to talk to their moms about periods, or afraid to even tell their mom that they were on their period. So I thought the companion video would be how to talk to your daughters so that they won't, pretty much go around in fear, scared to even say anything to you. And it was just alarming to me that there were so many girls that had not ever had that conversation with their mom about puberty. So with that being said, let me share my 2 cents as a mother. Again, I am not an expert. I am not a gynecologist. I am just a woman and a mother, a woman who has had her period for over 35 years, and a mom to 2 girls, and I've been a mom for 21 years. So I've seen a few things, but again, by no means am I an expert. The one thing I suggest as a parent is to start the dialogue early and make it continuous. I do not believe there is a one talk rule for many of the things that our kids are going to encounter throughout life. For example, there is no one talk about puberty. There is no one talk about the birds and the bees. It's an ongoing dialogue, because there are going to be questions that always come up. So with my girls, there wasn't just this one big conversation about periods. We kind of talked about, just things, being a woman all throughout our lives, so that it just became a natural dialogue and there was a natural progression. So for example, when your child is about 2 or 3 and you're giving them a bath and teaching them how to care for themselves, at that point you start teaching them the different names of the body parts on their body. So they now know, oh, okay, this is my body, this is how I wash this or take care of this area. So they know that. And then as they get a little bit older, they may start asking about breasts, because they'll see you. I think it's also important that, your children actually see their parents. They know if they're a woman, if they're girls and you're a woman, they need to know what that is. So my children never had an issue with, seeing me. Not just saying I stripped down and got naked in front of my kids on a whim, but, if I just happen to be in a shower or if we happen to be in a dressing room while we're out shopping, I never, made them turn their heads, like, turn in the corner, mommy's getting dressed, don't look at me. No. We're all women, and one day they're going to grow up and have the same body parts as me. So that would also lead to some questions. They might say, hey mom, why are your breasts big and mine are little? That's an opportunity to talk. And I would say something like, well, one day when you get big like mommy, your breasts are going to grow, and that will, make you a woman, and you're going to be able to nourish and feed your children. And that's just simple enough for them to know at that stage of the game. Or they may see your private parts, like, hey mom, why don't I have any hair down there? Or what have you. And then you can explain to them again about puberty, and then one day they're going to get hair down there. And as time goes on, you just continue to talk about other things, like what it's like when you're going to start to grow breasts. So when my daughters, got a little bit older, they would say, when can I get my first bra? Both my children were just dying to get their first bra. And I'm like, you don't have nothing. You just got those little bee stings. You don't have nothing to put in the bra. So then at that point, I would just tell them, what to expect when you're growing boobs. I said, you'll know when it's time for you to get a bra because you're going to have a little breast bud. And it's going to hurt. It's going to be a little bit painful and tender. And that's going to form the core of your breast. So they would go and they would check every day, squeeze it. Do I have a core, mom? Where's my core? Is my core growing? And can I get a bra? They were just dying to grow some, grow some breast. And so that way they're just very comfortable with their bodies. They're very comfortable with me. Anytime something happened to their bodies, they felt really comfortable coming to me and talk. Hey, mom, do I have a breast yet? Feel it, feel it. And, they would just encourage me to feel. I mean, it was insane. They just wanted breast really bad. Same thing with pubic hair. They just, can you look, is that a hair? I'm like, there is nothing there. That's skin, that's a pore. Mom, but seriously, so that's the kind of relationship that you want. And so then as you progress, when the periods come or when it's time for them to start their cycles, this is nothing new. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. You've talked to them since they were 2 all the way up until, with my girls, they started at 10 and I think the other one was 11 when they started. So between the ages of 10 and 11, you've been teaching them from 2 all the way to 10 or 11. It's just going to come second nature. And then you may be wondering, well, what do I talk to them about? My mom never talked to me. In school, they're going to get a little bit of, the health education. It's going to be the reproductive side. And then they may talk about pads and tampons, the different things and tools that you use to manage your period, but nothing in depth. So either it's going to come from you, or it's going to come from their friends or YouTube or something that they're seeing on social media. And for me, I would personally not want my children getting all of their information from an internet or from a friend, which is going to inevitably happen anyway. But I want them to be able to have that open dialogue so when they come back to me, they can say, hey, I was in school and we were talking about X, Y, and Z at the lunch table. Is that true? Or is that correct? Or something like that. Or, hey mom, I was watching this video on YouTube. Is this right or not? And so then that way you can open up the dialogue and discuss whether or not that, point of view was correct or not correct, or it can just be another point of view. And then also just talking to them about the simple things that you just may not even think is important for them to know. For example, I was in the bank, a while back, and my normal banker said that it was going to be a while for her to handle me, but I could go over to this other lady that was in the bank and she could help me out. And she was like, I also told her about your tomies and she is very interested in hearing more about them because she has a young girl. So when I went over to her and she was helping me with my transaction and such, and we began to talk about tomies. And she said, I never thought about talking to my daughter. When she got her cycle, I said, okay, let's go buy some pads. We went to the store, we bought pads, I gave them to her, and that was it. And she said, we didn't talk anymore. And I just asked her a couple of days later, how's everything going? How's your body feeling? And she said to me, it just kind of hurts. She said, what hurts? Do you have cramps or what? She's like, no, like pads really hurt. I just want to know, how can I make them more comfortable? And she's like, well, what do you mean pads hurt? Like what's hurting? What she ended up finding out was her daughter was putting the pads face up, the sticky side straight to her vagina, and the absorbent side was facing the underwear. So when she took it off, she was just basically almost waxing herself. She was ripping the pad off her vagina, and it was causing pain. And her mom said, I just felt so horrible. I never thought about actually telling her how to use a pad. I just thought that was self-explanatory. So just little things like that, showing them how to use the pad, letting them practice wearing a pad before their cycle even occurs so they could just get comfortable with what it feels like on and things like that. But also just come up with questions, like tell them maybe your period story. What happened when you first got your period? What to expect? What that looked like? And then it'll just give them that comfort that, okay, I can come to my mom and talk to her whenever I need to talk to her about something. And again, you're not going to get all of those questions answered in one conversation. This has to be an ongoing dialogue, because as you know, our bodies are ever changing. It's just like when we go to our own gynecologist. We have an ongoing dialogue based on things that have been happening to our bodies over time. It's the same thing with your children. So I encourage you, if you haven't already started and your children are younger, start that process now by talking to them about their bodies and their feelings and the changes that they're making and things like that. If your child is already older and you suspect that they may even be on their cycle or their periods, or they're about to start their period soon, go ahead and take that first step. Because if you think it's awkward or it's hard or you have fear, can you imagine what your children feel like? Put yourself in your children's place. They're wondering the same thing as well. I think it can be a beautiful thing. And if you feel awkward talking about it, you can just make it an activity. Maybe you guys can get together and make a period kit together. I did not know how many kids thought that would be a wonderful thing to do with their mom. So many kids left on comments on my video to say, I wish my mom would do that with me. I wish my mom would do that for me. So just break the ice by doing an activity and putting together just a little period kit so they could be prepared and open up the dialogue that way. If you want, you can hop on over to my Tommy's online channel and subscribe there, because I do want both young girls and mothers to be a part of that channel so that we can create a community and we can both feed off each other and understand the needs and wants of both our young girls, and then they can understand what we as mothers go through as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'm going to keep calm and carry on. Bye guys.